This strategy is most well executed when you're doing it to the enemy jungle as a counter jungle. Not quite when you're just, you know, taking your own jungle, but still, he's got a blue buff for himself, and he's going to get the Gromp as well. Sorted.
Yeah, gets himself a nice little bit of farming to start off this lane of this lane swap. And actually, Blue Resort was looking for a level 2 gank up on top side to really just try and keep Dan down. Didn't work out. Dan retreated.
Was they wanted to lane swap and then have that pressure in the top side to then take away Obsess's top side jungle, because then you don't actually take anything away from Obsess, so that really didn't work. And I have to feel like that was like the main aim of this lane swap in that early game, which has just completely failed. And now you have to play more standard tier, which will go into the benefit of Misfits as they have Kate Moore pushing in that sign bot.
Now we actually see Blue Resort shows himself. Dan knows this is here. Level 2 for the Vlad Block workout.
Very, very clean right there. And there's so many minions under that tower that Dan is going to have to lose for that death as well. And crucially, as you're seeing here as well, Paladins doesn't go down in the response dive from Obsess. So advantage Mad Lions in that early play.
Yeah, they didn't get the push in on the bot lane with enough minions, so they couldn't stack it up without kind of, you know, insurance as such, and they ended up losing it. So overall, advantage to Mad Lions. It's definitely an interesting strategy. Kind of the one thing with lane swaps, it's not how you start it, it's how you try.
Bot side now, because Tristana has that kill, has that item advantage, got a bunch, well, got one plate, so many, a bunch. Technically that should be more than one, but whatever, we'll gloss over that.
We'll go with it.
And now they can actually go into the Kate Morgana, which is traditionally...
Gold is pretty much even. You know, it's a little bit of a discrepancy as we have a quick look at it there. Like mid lane's bang on, it's the bot lane, like you said, 300 a kill pretty much going over in favor of Tristana, able to keep her relevant into a pretty punishing lane that is Morgana and Caitlyn. And the top lane, sadly for Palins, you know, his first team matches top lane game, is going to be a struggle, because Vladimir is just, it's just not going to be easy for him to really get anything going.
Vlad is definitely a pain, but honestly, I would say that as far as it goes, Vlad is one of the champions I'd rather play against, considering Dan's champion pool. We saw here. Misfits know about it, and they're not going to give it up for free.
Yeah, they're looking like they want to try and contest it. Blue Resort needs to be careful. Smite going to come down now. It is going to... Samix, and now Thresh's in no man's land. It's a double kill for the Caitlyn. Disaster for Mad Lions.
Disaster is the perfect word, BP. 3 kills over to Misfits. Mad Lions do pick up the Ocean Dragon, but I don't think that one's worth it. Ocean gives you a nice early benefit for that lane phase, for that regen, but you know what also better on the desk, how he's such a huge component for this team. It's kind of gone now, because you're now stuck in this horrible matchup with a Caitlyn who now has 2 kills, now has lane priority, and now has, you know, so many tools at her, dispense. Yeah, I think when that lane swap with the invade didn't quite work out, it was a bit wide for Mad Lions, but they did get that dive. I was like, okay, let's see what's going on here. But now it all comes down to really the scaling and the team fights, because that play kind of just sacrifices your lane phase. We'll see it right again here. Blue Resort has already died at this point, and Samux is perma CC'd, gets hits a binding from Morgana. Just, yeah, there's just so much CC for that play.
So we'll see what he wants to transition it into.
Oh, it's got another dagger. About the lane swap, how they got the advantage, and now they're happy to go into the 2v2. Look where
I don't really think we can
that strong side, and that's really important for Blue Resort to not get
sense for this kind of thing. It's like the Tristana's here. I feel like I've seen this
leaders
before.
On the way. This is risky as hell. He's level 6 too.
Yeah, they got to be very, very careful. Looks like they're going to try and get some plates and bounce. Just kind of maybe crash the wave a little bit. But yeah, like you said, leader was on the way. They did spot him on a ward, and you can see that was the instant idea of this lane swap. It's good, but they're kind of sacrificing a lot for it.
But they've sent Pretty to this top side right here, so you're going to have 4 people breaking down this tower. Tristana obviously is very good with that. Oh, it is going back million, never mind. But you know, they're on point. She's even in this game right now.
Plague has been dropped. I think that's
windows closed. We'll see. I don't think, honestly, Mad Lions will be able to respond with this tower without having to recall here.
I mean, my blue juice.
That's true.
You know?
Leader's all about that stuff. I mean, we haven't talked about Leader at all this game because, you know, we've been so focused on this lane swap especially. But even here in this mid lane has built himself up a 20 CS is pretty impressive, honestly, for the pure 1v1. And we all know what Leader's capable of, right? So you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. And right now, he's definitely looking... he's setting up very nicely for this game.
We're coming up to about 10 minutes in the game. We're already seeing a 3,000 gold lead. And when you say 3,000 gold and an IE 10 minutes Caitlyn, that's just a bad time right there for the Mad Lions. They need to try and stem the bleeding and look to try and, like you said, these team fights. Look for the Sion and the Skarner kind of front-to-back team fight.
Falco's going in. He looks
oh, dearie me. Falco baited by the hook.
Quarters. Now in the semifinals, he actually has picked up his first death in a very, very long time. But either way, Samix was kind of like the main piece for this game back and play for those team fights.
And Blue Resort, oh my God. Neon and Hiva. And I gotta admit, Hiva came into this just
it's not over. It's not over.
God, it's not over. You're gonna have to use a stopwatch.
11 minutes into the game. Honestly, something is difficult when Misfits are stomping a game and leader is 0-0-0.
Yeah, leader like their solo lanes, Dan and leader have honestly been like the most unactive people in this entire game. And I think this is the power that we saw from Misfits before. They picked this, Morgana, Caitlyn bot.
They are their solo lanes. This team is ridiculously scary. Or is it just the Kate Morg and then you can kind of bounce this...
Samix getting jumped on there, getting jumped past, and there's the leader we know and love.
1v2,
picks himself
baby.
up a 1v2 kill, and Falco, he was just a spectator. He couldn't do anything there.
I mean, he landed him out.
He tried to, he didn't click though.
Actually, leader's still really strong. Leader is still leader, right? It's kind of scary, but this game's looking really good for Misfits. And don't forget as well, in the EU Masters, which advanced to that finals. And for Misfits and for France, this is a big series for them. Oh, that's cheating.
That's a nice little move there. Like the lantern, yeah. It's actually really fun.
I genuinely thought that was like a banned mechanic. Yeah. Like the game physically would not let you do that.
Unfortunately, though, for Mad Lions, you pick up that kill. You've now lost all 3 gold ahead.
Yes. I mean, it's not just the amount of plates. You can describe this game as a buffet, BP. Yeah. Misfits are getting fed as heck. It's very scary for Mad Lions. How long
have you been sitting on that one?
Sometimes these things just come to me. I touched upon it before, but we don't want to write Mad Lions out because this is a team that has proven in the E-Masters you just never write Mad Lions out, right? I think people were doing that after game 1. Mad Lions 2-0'd that one as well. So you can get back into this game. You have great scaling on the side of Pretty with that Azir, who can also stall out really well right now because they are staring down a huge deficit at this point in the game.
Yeah, you're looking at a nearly 3rd item Caitlyn right now, and that is terrifying to look at. And it's about what Mad Lions, like you said, how they stall out, how they go for it, and how they look to try and transition this horrible early game into a more sustainable mid to late. And the Misfits, on terms of them, they just need to keep going. They don't need to put the brakes on. They are just looking fantastic right now.
Yep. And this is the 1-3-1 Misfits coming into action as well right here. You're going to stick leader in one lane, you'll stick Dan in another. And the fact that Neon and Hiva are so strong right now means you can just siege. There's no easy way to defend this. No easy way.
Oh my God.
He's just dead.
My God. Yeah, he has enough shields just to barely keep him there. And that's so hard. That's when you're arguably your tankiest member walks up to the Caitlyn and can't even get near her because it just gets 3-shot, 4-shot, and it's like, okay, I gotta get out now because I'm just gonna die. And that's the mid lane inner going down. Misfits, no need to stop. Misfits feeling good, looking good, and oh my God.
It's just so tough to defend, when you're buoyed away from your towers, just under tower, you're getting poked out. It's so tough right here. And Neon here are generally just going to keep right-clicking these towers. And
they have the range, there's nothing they can do. Blue Resort goes in, but again, what's he going to do about it? You have the black shield for this ultimate protection now. You've gotten what you needed to do, which is basically get your bot lane ahead, and this is very much ahead of the game for this Misfits bot lane.
The thing is, if you are going to defend, then you can't be getting poked out under tower, right? And the problem is, right now as well, is that Dan is still pushing bot side. Leader is still pushing top side. And honestly, Sion can't defend one of those two. Pretty can defend, Pretty can wave clear, but Sion can't. And so that is an issue now where you're leaking all 3 lanes and you only have a certain amount of plugs, and it's not enough plugs.
Need more plugs. Next draft, almost certainly going to be for that one. But again, this is kind of, the unfortunate pick when you go for so late, when you go for that super late game team fight with the Azir, with the Tristana. Yes, you've the kind of the Skarner for the early game, but it's not enough. If you get far behind this very much mid-game centric team, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, and it all comes down to that level 1 lane swap where they tried to punish Obsessed with that invade on the top side and it didn't work. They didn't get anything out of it. And I think for this team comp, especially given the circumstances, they needed that play to work. It's very easy for us to look back and say that was a big moment for this Mad Lions squad. Obviously that Dragon fight as well. But at this point, it doesn't matter what's happened. You just got to look about what is going to happen and how you can influence that. Mad Lions here, they have the easy job of just trying to not lose the game, just holding the waves as best they can. I'd say it's easy, but of course that is very hard against this Misfits lineup.
And like you said, it can be a small little difference that can mean so much coming into the 15 to 20 minute mark. Like you said, the dragon and the failed invade ended up leading up to one or two small little things, and that ended up to a bigger thing. The butterfly effect, small little things lead to bigger things. But it's also kind of like, what do Mad Lions want to do? How do they do this? This could be potentially how they go for it. Taking out Obsess would have been a good start. Mountain Drake is on the board, but again, it's very, like you said, with a 1-3-1, it's just very hard for Mad Lions to even push forward.
The best way to break a 1-3-1 is to stall out. Usually through picks is the most efficient way, and Skarner is very good at doing that. If you catch someone, you can grab him and then die and be sorted. But the problem is that it's very hard to catch the side of Misfits, and they're just so far ahead that all of the kind of theory around how you defend a 1-3-1 kind of goes out the window, because they're just too strong. You just brute force wise, you just can't match them. These 2v1s start looking actually, not in your favor, surprisingly. So it's very hard for Mad Lions. They just got to keep holding.
And the Quicksilver Sash built onto leaders Aurelia now as well. So again, little things like that. That means that Black Shield can go onto Neon. Neon doesn't have to worry about the Quicksilver. He's got himself 3 crit items right now. And you're not even finished an item on this Tristana. Samex is so far behind. He is, at the moment, 4,500 gold. That is literally an IE and something else.
That is actually wild.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to find out.
Oh, here we go. We're going to see now the Sejuani going in. They get the hook onto the Vladimir. He was the one with Black Shield. There's a really nice flash in, but Neon's just too far ahead. He had all of his summoners up, and here comes Leader on the flank. Double kill for the Vladimir, and you got to feel like this is not a lot they can do from the side of Mad Lions. They're going to have to concede this one, but Pretty goes in. Pretty gets the shutdown. 1,000 gold for him. That will stall out the Misfits lineup a little bit, but everyone else is still super healthy.
That's exactly as we were describing it. It's like, that was a decent play by Mad Lions. Blurizor finds the pick onto the Caitlyn and drags him into the team. But just because everything else is going on and you're so far behind, you can't quite bring him down. Yes, you do get shut down onto Pretty. That is a positive, and oh, look at that!
Beautiful scenery. I love that. That tower is amazing.
It is. The rock in that right there was the difference.
Yeah, honestly, and we talked about inches. That was centimeters of difference, and had the rock just moved the other way, it would have been fine. But good move from Pretty here. Going to try and take out this mid lane turret. Does have security to kind of back away. Doesn't quite get it. Observers, if you can, I would love to know exactly how much that turret is on, but we'll have to wait and see, because nothing else is happening.
32.
Let's see if he can click on it. If he clicks on it, we'll know exactly how much it is. 27. You were very close.
I was close. I was very close.
Thank you very much, observers. But again, it is honestly those little things. The fact that he didn't get the turret. That's no gold now for the side of Mad Lions. He had to back away. What did he want to do? I think Baron's just next for Misfits.
Right. So as soon as that 20-minute mark hits, Misfits, who've been looking to go for that 1-3-1, who are looking to siege into Mad Lions' base, suddenly now the big objective is it's the Baron Nashor. When you pick this one up, you're 1-3-1, you suddenly have Baron power minions in all your lanes. Blurizor, it's just so tough. Oh, it's
the crit came in. Neon.
It's so hard, man.
This
is the thing. Mad Lions know that Misfits want this Baron. They can't. It's a rock and a hard place. The Roxy's come back again. You can't give up Baron. But you
can't fight it either.
Exactly. You just get caught. It's so tough right here. They're going to lose the Baron anyway, and now you're going to see Baron-powered minions sprawling through 3 lanes at one time, which would be very hard to defend from Mad Lions.
Now they're going to try and attempt this one. We see Falco going in. He has propped down the ward. Hasn't got another one there yet, so they are going to wait for this TP coming in, but there's also a TP flank from the side of Vladimir as well. And that's immediately rooted. They're going to have to get the Scion out of this straight away. Samex is going to go down to so low health. Falco now is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Baron goes over. A kill goes over. Unless the Mad Lions can really stall this out, I don't see this coming back. Because look at Neon. He's doing so much damage. He can just go in. They get another kill. That's your front line taken down. Down a little bit in no man's land. Needs to be very, very careful. Has got the Zhonya's, so should be able to keep himself alive as leader, and Neon play bodyguard. And that's going to be the inhibitor line in mid lane, broken open. Misfits, they're just looking clean.
Yeah, this is so hard to hold on right here. Mad Lion's been trying to hold on since like the 15-minute mark, if not earlier. And at this point, it's become even harder now that the Baron buff is on the board. And that was just one push, right? And that was an immediate push after the Baron buff. And now, the fact that the push was so fast means that Misfits are going to get a reset and another Baron push out of this one. And you have to wonder, That just could be the death knell for Mad Lions. Here it is. Here's the Baron play. Blue Resort's already dead, right? You're not going to get anything out of this one. If you TP in onto a trap, that's the power of Caitlyn. We saw it with the stopwatch as well. Any kind of like invulnerabilities, you just bam. If you can predict where people are going to go, you put the traps down, they're sorted. Mad Lions just can't do anything. Look at this. Just get run down.
Neon using that rapid fire cannon, literally go, I'm so perfectly safe, I can just hit you twice and your entire tanky front line is dead. There's not a lot Mad Lions can do. Like, now, it is not 100% over, but it's looking very dire.
It's looking extremely dire. What you got to do, I feel like a broken record, because all they have hasn't changed.
No.
Just wait for the Baron, try and stall out, try and get some, when you then get strong. Right. But what happens to the rest of the map when you go for this play?
They lose bot lane turrets. They need to be able to take down this. Look how scared Samix was there for a second. They do get the shutdown.
That's perfect combo.
That was the perfect combo. They do get the shutdown onto him. But bot lane, like you said, around the map, Misfits so cool. You're 3-man top, we're 4-man bottom.
It was a well-executed pick, to be fair. They hard CC comboed right there. And, you know, Dan going down, but... Yeah, you kill someone in top side to try and break the 1-3-1, and what happens? Now you have another naked inhibitor. There's an engage.
Here we go. We're going to see Sejuani going in over the wall. Leader is there as well. He puts out the Vanguard's edge. They're not going to be able to save Falco, but can Falco save anybody else with his death? No, unfortunately not. As Sion goes down, it's a 2-for-1 trade, effectively with the Vladimir going down. And they're going to keep rolling in. They have no reason to stop. They have no reason to give up. And Misfits, look at it. They're going to be taking game 1.
There it is, right down the bot side of the map with that Baron buff still in the pocket of Misfits. They're breaking down the second Nexus tower. Are they going to go for it?
Honestly, I don't see why not at this stage. You're going to go straight in. Samix gets jumped on. There is the Sarima shuffle. Does get a nice little bit onto the leader. He will fall down. That is only his second death of the day. But Misfits, they take game 1 of this best of 3. And I got to call a spade a spade. Mad Lions look lost.
Misfits looked very powerful in that game. Misfits came in with a game plan, which was 1-3-1, Kate Morgana, very strong. Mad Lions came in also with a game plan to play around their unique situation of that sub in the top lane with that lane swap. I think that was, honestly, it was a very smart game plan, but it didn't quite work out for them early, and you saw right from then just a few things fall to the side, and then bam, it's so hard to beat this Misfits roster when they get that advantage in the bot side and they still have their solo laners taking over the game.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments where, like you said, the lane swap worked in essence. You know, you got a little bit of goal on Tristana. Like you said, the Morg and Kate bot lane is just something you do not want to go against. However, you just didn't have anything else. Everything, they seemed a bit jittery. They seemed to be kind of pushing for a little bit more than they should have. And it's not the Mad Lions that we're used to seeing here at the EU Masters.
Yeah, it's like you lose a core component of your roster in Yoppa. And, you know, we can see on the surface, like, Yoppa's been a huge carry for this team, but also what we don't see is what happens with comms, like, behind the scenes, and how much of an impact Yoppa actually is to the Mad Lions. I think Mad Lions came in with a game plan to try and, like, make up for the fact Yoppa wasn't there, but it didn't work for them.
We'll see what their game plan is going into game 2. We're going to throw it to a quick break, but when we return, we will have game 2 of this best of 3 series.